We'll be reading from the February 1984 release or issue of Byte. Look at that old tobacco pipe right there. The first ad they hit us with is a dot matrix printer. That's pretty cool. What a wonderful print job this thing is capable of doing. I love the little holes on the side of the paper to run it through the printer. Over here, is this a Apple credit card? Nice. It's the only consumer credit card reserved exclusively for purchase of Apple computers. Down here, they say, give your floppy disk the boot. We call it the floppy disk shuffle. Happens when you have 2 or more software programs on floppies, and you need to work with both. What do? You put one disk in, boot it, do your work, take it out, put the other disk in, boot it, do your work. You get the idea. Looks like their solution here is a new software program called Catalyst from Quark Inc. Quark, like from Deep Space Nine? He is interested in making money, so I am not surprised he ventured out. This software is specially designed for Apple III and Profile hard disk. Catalyst allows you to take a wide variety of software programs and store them on your Profile with a capital F. I wonder if there's a video demonstrating how to do this. That'd be awesome to see a demonstration. Anything written for the Apple III, including copy-protected programs like VisiCalc, QuickFile, and Apple Writer 3, or languages like Pascal Basic or COBOL. Once you've loaded these programs in your profile, the only diskette you may ever need is the Catalyst. Good old Quark. Let's scroll right on past this table of contents. I'll try to get to as much of this as possible. At this time, the editor-in-chief was Lawrence Curran. Managing editor is Philip Lemons. Now this issue starts off very interesting with an editorial by the editor-in-chief there. He says the compatibility craze was very evident in this Las Vegas show called Comdex. Apparently, seeing many people copying IBM is what drives this compatibility craze, which is frustrating to a lot of people in the PC community right there. It's frustrating because they're afraid IBM will stifle innovation. Our editor-in-chief here compliments IBM, but essentially is encouraging IBM to do the right thing, which is to make sure the technology that they're finding through this R&D is pushed downward to its personal computer families, because after all, that is often their first practical application. The editor here wants such developments as flat screen displays, half megabit RAMs, and Office by example software to be possible. And sure, potentially the reason this article is written is because he says in the November issue, when they were talking about IBM, they got a lot of community feedback. And so his last paragraph, we believe innovation has kept U.S. industry competitive in world markets. So he kind of ties the action he wants from IBM to, the greater good. Maybe even a little patriotic appeal right here. So that's how February 1984's issue begins. Look at this cool 80s synthwave Chromemco ad. These are S100 boards they're offering. Next page says we can get an IBM PC for just $19.95. Buy a chameleon. Geez, the microbyte section though is in this crazy pink color. Commodore plans Unix-like operating system for Z8000 base computer. Down here we have boost in IBM production could spell problems for clone makers. It's interesting to see supply chain or semiconductor issues back in 1984. I should probably read these magazines in order, but I'm kind of just clicking the first one I get to in archive.org. My point is those supply problems back then, compare that to what we're going through today. It's just interesting. They write Intel Core, maker of the 8088 processor used in the IBM PC and most PC compatibles. Intel doesn't expect any major problems with that part, the 8088, although both Intel and AMD are pushing back their delivery schedules for companies ordering the 8088 and 8086. Intel was less positive about production of the 8088 compatible 8186 processor, which runs faster than the 8088. and eliminates the need for several peripheral chips. So they don't expect any major problems, but they're pushing back the delivery of that. Is this artificial? I'm not such a computer historian. I would know this one. Is it a legitimate pain they're inflicting on people? Or are they trying to manipulate them into using the 8186? Maybe in future issues of these magazines we read, post February 1984, we'll find out the answers to that. Next, it says Digital Research, Zilog, AMI agree to put personal CP/M-ROM on Z80 chip. All right, Seagate and Vertex unveil 100 megabyte hard disks. Wow, 100 megabytes. All right, trying to get my Windows right. I just like keeping notes, especially of these particular technical details, because I am likely to forget them. And I mean, just look at this. The company's 8-inch drives will cost less than $1,500. Those are crazy different numbers back then. Intel introduces 64 kilobyte CMOS RAM, and Keytronic licenses new mouse technology. All right, we're switching colors here. The marketplace is flooded with new portable computers. Visual Technologies unveiled the Commuter. ACT has brought its British-made Apricot computer to the US. CompuSource Inc. has the Abacus. Morrow, the Micro Decision, and Televideo Systems has the TPC-2, a portable computer, and then the TelePC 1605. So the marketplace is flooded with those portable computers and with new desktop machines. So then they list those ones out here. Nanobytes Apple Computer Inc. lost a copyright suit against an Australian computer dealer that sold the Taiwan-made Wombat computer. Apple taking an L. Sometimes court battles last decades though, so I will be curious to see if this popped back up later. More nanobytes though. Digital Equipment Corp has unveiled its DEC Talk voice synthesis module. Canon has announced an 8-page per minute laser beam printer. Ooh, I'm sure we'll see ads for that soon. Bank of America has home banking for $8 a month. Gold Hill Computers Inc. introduced GCLISP, a $375 Lisp interpreter. The only Lisp I know is Emacs Lisp. That is enough so I can configure Spacemacs to work the way I want it. Next up we have Micro Software International's PractiCalc 2. National Microwave has introduced the Personal Planner, a home software package allowing users to write letters and keep track of appointments, names, and addresses. This is for both MS-DOS or CP/M. Atari and Activision announced a joint venture to distribute software electronically to home video gaming computer systems. Cool. And I'll let you pause if you wanted to read the rest of those. What does that say? Per-Comnet? Is this a network interface card? They give us 3 options here if we wanted to fill out the card. Is that what you're supposed to do? Just cut this out of the magazine and throw it in a letter? Ship it to this address here? Anyways, your first option, I'd like you to send me more information. I'm very interested. Please have your rep call me at that number you provide. Or I'd like to know more about your PhD hard disk. Maybe that's their product they know or make the most money on. Here we're introducing Compact Plus, high performance portable computer. Yeah, that looks high performance. And look how portable it is. That guy's bringing it in. This lady looks very interested in what these two guys are talking about. It runs all the popular programs written for the IBM XT. This is from the Compact Computer Corporation. Alright, now we're down to the letters, and these can be very entertaining. And I like how the editors or writers will reply to people, especially if they talk too much trash. But the part I like the most is when an author like Mr. Tom Wadlow will admit a mistake. He says, "You're right about the Shugart drives. Indeed, all the micro decision drives are manufactured by Shugart and not by Tandon, as I had mistakenly claimed in the review. The drives used in the Micro Decision 1 are manufactured by Tandon. As for the rest of your comments, I believe that if you read the second page of my review, under the paragraph titled Disk Storage, you will see that I did not say that all micro decisions use single density drives." Oh, so just a reading comprehension comprehension error. Let's get interrupted by another amazing ad. But who could resist not wanting to buy this computer when you see that amazing cup of coffee right next to it? This looks to be called Head Start, and here are all the features. They say great ideas come in small packages, so that's small. Okay, it's also fast, I guess. And we all need to remember that some ideas are bigger than others. So get a head start on the other guys and call 803-798-9100. Maybe someone can call that number and let me know if it goes anywhere interesting. Here's another letter to the editor. ANSI, ANSI standards. Those damn terminal makers are not using the ANSI standard to this guy's satisfaction. Always wonderful to see someone talking positively about public domain software. Well, here's an OS for a Motorola chip. Down here we have the Ultra Term. Does this terminal accept the ANSI standard? I don't see any mention of it in the ad, but it's funny how super important spreadsheets were back then. And I guess if we're being honest, they're still very important. What is this software we're looking at? Is this something Elon Musk can use? Looks like this is the MCS 3D CAD system. So very cool. Let's skip the rest of the letters. Look at this, a Byte Writer. It's a daisy wheel printer typewriter. I used to love typing on those. Lots of cool chips. Here's an ad synthwave fans can use as a desktop background if they wanted. 7 aces. Pick a pin. Reina System's always a step ahead. You have Visual 1050 personal computer system here. Alright, our first big article, and it's called the Apple Macintosh computer. Mouse window desktop technology arrives for under $2,500. Not interested in reading this particular article. It is amazing how deep they go into things though with stuff like this. They say the heart of the Macintosh digital electronics is the MC68000 processor. Here you go for you visual learners. ROM memory connects directly to the system bus and is used by only the 68000. Oh, I don't even know what I should do with this here. Maybe revisit if there was enough interest. What are they doing here? Being cheap with the black and white only photos? Oh well, who doesn't love block diagrams? I wonder what software they use to create this. And the way this paragraph starts out, it makes me chuckle. The toolbox, which occupies 2/3 of the high-speed 64 kilobyte ROM, includes optimized 68000 machine language routines that handle all aspects of the Macintosh user interface. High-speed 64K ROM. Here's a Macintosh system overview, the memory map. Here's another ad for that Catalyst software we talked about earlier. Let's go to the next page. Here are some Sony discs. What is the point of this picture? Maybe they just want to be clear. There are no Control-Alt keys down here. We'll wait till you see how fast the memory and ROM is accessed. We're talking 7.83 megahertz. What are you able to access this way? Most of the Mac operating system, plus those user interface tools toolbox that we saw earlier. Well, like many articles in Byte, this one about the Macintosh is just so very thorough. They're talking about third-party software now, move on to optional hardware, documentation and training. Nice. Service, caveats, commentary. The Macintosh is still too expensive to penetrate the home market significantly. That will be left to less expensive machines. And this is in the conclusion section of the article, which is quite a long conclusion. I like this part though. Overall, the Macintosh is a very important machine that, in my opinion, replaces the Lisa as the most important development in computers in the last 5 years. And they say it brings us one step closer to a computer as an appliance. Ooh, witty. We were born out of a million hard luck stories. But I want more Macintosh stuff. So here we go with the interview of the Macintosh design team. I need to screenshot this picture and tweet it out. Anyone want to use Bill Atkinson here as a profile image? Oh, and they thought this blue dot stuff was a good idea. These guys are the wizards. It takes a while to make these videos, so I think I'm going to wrap this one up, and if I read the next part, it'll come out as a part 2. I just want to see how long it takes me to get to the next major article. So here we go. I will do some rapid clicking. You could pause. Hopefully you don't though. Next big article, Apple announces Elisa 2. Thanks for watching.